Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a different video because I'm going to talk about not stocks but actually real estate, and I'm going to talk about something happened to me today that really prompted me to make this video, and I really hope I help you out with a very bad idea that is ingrained in a lot of people, and I'm going to give you my viewpoint on it. And I am a Swedish real estate investor with a $10+ million portfolio. And I have done a lot of different real estate investments. Obviously, if a house is a good investment for you or not, it depends on your life situation. But most people watching this video, it's going to be a very bad investment for you to buy your own home. And you're going to see it by the end of the video. So who am I to talk about this? I have the following experience. I have started my real estate career by flipping homes, mainly my own homes that me and my wife lived in. Made quite some good money with it, but I wanted to turn it into a business. So we went bigger with my colleague, and then we started converting commercial spaces into apartments. And we have kept on growing, and now we have about 250 apartments that we're building in South Sweden with and this is divided up on 4 different projects, and some of them are being planned and some of them are being built. I can show you, this is one project where we are building 24 apartments. This is the sales website. Again, it's in Swedish. We are from Sweden. This is another one where we are building 11 apartments. And this is our website where you can see completed projects that we have done. This is a rental unit that we have. So based on this experience, I came to the conclusion that buying your own home is a horrible idea. And I'm going to tell you why. But to be able to tell you this, I have to tell you a story. So I had a friend who came back to Sweden in around 2019. They quickly bought a house. I think their initial investment was around $40,000-$50,000. And you know, the real estate prices in Sweden have appreciated very nicely. And they recently, before the monetary tightening, got the house evaluated. And they had over $100,000 of extra equity in the home. So $40,000 was the original investment. They made $100,000. And then what they decided was to loan out this money from the house, and they purchased another house on the same street that they wanted to rent out. So far, so good. How can this be a bad deal? Well, let's go on with the stories. So what was I doing at the time? So I took expensive personal loans and I invested that money into the company. And me and my wife went through a lot of hardships very many times. The cash was very tight, and my company was constantly almost going bankrupt because real estate is a super capital intense activity. And that is the reason why I had to take loans. It was to save the company from going bankrupt. And this actually prevented us from being able to buy a home. Then we have friend number 2. They bought a house that they needed to renovate, and the idea was to live in the house and continue to take loans. And the husband is a handyman, and you know, he can use his time to fix up certain parts of the house, live a few years in the house, and then they will sell the house. So this is the original story. So now what has happened is the Fed is tightening in the US, and the Swedish National Bank is also tightening. And what's different between Sweden and the US is that most of the country is on not fixed but variable rates. So that means that the moment they announce the rate increases, almost everyone's mortgage is more expensive. So Sweden is very sensitive to mortgage increases or decreases. So what happened to friend number 1? So friend number 1 lost a substantial part of their equity from the home. That's because, you know, the tightening happened and real estate crashed in Sweden, and they have increased cost in their family about $1,000 per month, and they can't sell any of their houses that they have to get out of these extra costs. And the money is not really doing anything in the houses. I believe if they would somehow sell in this bad market, they would make some money. Maybe they would make 100,000 on their original 40,000 investment. But currently they're very, very tight. They have the $1,000 extra cost is just the mortgage costs, and it's not including the inflation that we have had in Sweden. Then friend number 2 has the same amount of cost increase on the house. They are a family of 3 kids, and they both have to work all the time to just cover the costs, and they cannot take more loans because the bank is tightening, and the house is still unrenovated, which is a problem because they have an old heating system which costs more, and it's a bit of a pickle situation. And what was happening to me? Meanwhile, I was working very hard. I was renting where I lived, and the heat pump broke. And this is a 10,000 expense. So if this would have happened to friend 1 or friend 2, they would have to fork up or take this is Sweden, so they would probably have to take a new loan on the house to fix this heat pump. What did I have to do? I called the landlord. I told them that the heat pump was fixed, and he fixed it. I didn't have to put any money out of my pocket. And I think I even got a decrease in my rent for the time that the heat pump was being fixed. And why was I making this video? I was making this video because today I got the letter that because of the inflation and with the Swedish rules, they came to the agreement between the house owners union and the renters union that they are going to increase my rent by 5%. So that means that from now on, I will have to pay $100 extra per month. So friend 1 is having dead money in a house with $1,000 in 2 houses with $1,000 extra cost per month. Friend 2 has an unrenovated house. They have the extra cost of $1,000, and also they can't move. They, can't take more loans, and it's a bit of a pickle. And because I rent where I live, I have an increase of $100 or 5% on my rent. So now I know you're going to type in the comments that, but this is all because of the increase of the Fed and the monetary tightening. But let's look at it. Okay, what if there was no monetary tightening? So friend 1 will probably make money on the long term. If you adjust it for inflation and repairs that they have to do on their houses, it will be about a 5% annual return on the house increase, which is okay, right? Then friend 2 will have it quite tough, and they have to spend a substantial amount of their time renovating the home. And this will be important in a bit. And they might get up to a 10% return. And the funny thing is that I recently was looking, when I was having a very rough time, I was looking at, friend 1, and I was like, oh my God, I am envious of them. How that they made $100,000 and in such short amount of time, and how good it is for them. Until I realized that I own shares in my own company. And we actually got the company evaluated because of a financing deal. And we got an evaluation that put my shares over $10 million. I don't want to go into exactly how much, but it was way over $10 million. So that means that all these loans that I took and invested into the company, all these expensive loans that made me not be able to buy a family home and be, this outsider in Sweden who doesn't own their home, means that I have made thousands of percent. I don't even know the percentual increase on my money, right? So you can see that it's a huge difference what the investments gave. My friends invested in a house. They got dead money and 5% return. And I invested in myself and in my company, and I got thousands of percent return, and I actually created wealth. And this is not only that, right? So also many people don't do the math. So where I'm renting is a 700,000 apartment. So when I started renting here, there was no way that I could, even if I wanted to, buy this place, right? The place is near a beach in a very beautiful part near Malmö in Sweden. And if I would want to buy this, I would need 108,000 at least in down payment, probably more. But there's a thing. There is a 50% tax in Sweden. So that means that if my family is spending about $100,000 per year, so if I would want to buy this house, I would need to earn an additional $108,000 after tax to just be able to buy this home. But because there is a 50% tax in Sweden, that means that from my company, I need to take, instead of 108,000, 216,000. Sweden is a bit of a funny country, because if I leave that money in the company, it can stay there untaxed and I can invest it untaxed. So that means that I could take this 216,000, invest it in the most, even if I'm not investing in myself or in another company that I have, I could invest it in the S&P 500, or I could invest it in a fixed interest loan, government bonds, blah, blah, blah. And I could earn at least 8% on this, which would be $17,280 per year. Whereas if I would invest it, quote unquote, in a house, I would immediately lose 108,000 to taxes, and then I would be earning 5% per year, which is $5,400 in increased value. And again, not only that, I even forgot to put this, that when you own your own house, you're your own landlord. So that means when the heat pump breaks down, it's your problem. You have to take your time that you could spend on, improving your skills, learning or working, and you have to fix those things. You probably need to, cut your own you need to cut your own grass, you need to do your own gardening chores, and all these things take super valuable time away from your family and away from self-improvement and or work. So this is why I think that if you're an entrepreneur or you want to really build wealth, buying your own home is a horrible investment. But as I said in the beginning of the video, it's not a horrible investment for everyone. If you're employed and you're not an entrepreneur and you're not planning to learn about the stock market, and you're not really, you want to have it good, but you're not trying to build wealth, a home is probably a very sound investment for you. For example, my wife's brother is an employee. He has a hard time saving money, and I am recommending him to buy an apartment because, him saving up for the down payment and then paying the bank loan, it becomes like an enforced saving. And I think it will be very good for him in the long term. And also, if you are someone who has a lot of money and you are happy with, obviously, if you invest $1 billion into your own home and you get 5% appreciation per year, it's $50 million. It's very good money, but 99.99% of the people watching this video don't have enough money where it makes sense to be happy about a 5% investment per year. So this is my honest thoughts about owning your own home, and I think it's very sad that it's super ingrained in people that you have to buy your own home and they don't think about it. And it's so ingrained that the other owner in the company, who is my best friend, this is the topic where we disagree. We might get a huge payout this year, and we talked about how we're going to invest it. And he told me that he wants to buy a home for his family. And I asked him if he was an idiot, and we went through the math, and I just can't get the decision. Whatever money we're going to get, half of it goes to taxes, and then he will put the other half in the home that he will have to renovate. It will take his time. And I told him I'm going to leave the money in my company, use a little bit on maybe an extra family trip or something that the family needs, and the rest is going into Tesla, Palantir, and other stocks. And even with my best friend, this is a disagreement. But I did the math. I don't think he did the math. And again, buying your own home is a horrible investment. So let me know, guys, what you think about this video. This was a little bit different. And I am a real estate investor, but I'm really trying to move into the stock market. But if this video is liked by the audience, I can do more real estate videos. So please let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed. Why not check out the Patreon link in the description box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.